Hello everyone, and in this video we are going to walk through exercises 5-7A along with 5-8A and 5-9A in regards to completing the forms that are discussed in chapter 5. So on 5-7A, we need to use information from exercise 6A, and what we're going to do is that we are going to complete form 941 in your book, and this is on page 179 and page 180 in chapter 5. So what we first thing that we do need to do, if you scroll down to form 941, we need to put in the employer's identification number, the name of the company, the trade name if any, along with the address. And then we also need to report what quarter we are going to be filling out in the boxes below. So in this example here, we are doing quarter number 2. So part 1, we're going to fill in a number of employees, which in this example here is 7. Box 2 or part 2 is the wage, tips, and other computation. So the wages and tips in the second quarter, which is $244,798. And then in box 3, they give you the income tax that's withheld, which is $48,000. The Social Security tax withheld they give you is $15,177.48. And then the Medicare tax that is withheld, which is $3,549.57. Now, as you notice in boxes 5A through 5D, you're going to take the taxable wages of $244,798, multiply it by 0.124, and then for the taxable Medicare wages, we're going to multiply that by 0.029. We're going to add column 2 together to get a total of $37,454.09. Now, our total taxes in line 6 before the adjustments is $85,454.09, and then the current quarter adjustment, where that 29 cents is coming from, I have it up here. They give us our total tax liability for that the employer has paid is April, May, and June. The employer's tax liability is $85,454.38. What we need to do is that we take the employer's tax liability and we're going to subtract the tax liability that we got on the form here on line 6, and that's where that 29-cent quarter adjustment is coming into play. So it's the employer's books based on the calculation, and the difference then goes to the adjustment column. And that's where the $85,454.38 comes into play. And this should match, box 11 should match exactly what is reported in the employer's payroll records. That is form 941. As you know, as you keep doing, going down on part 2, you're going to fill in your tax liabilities and then the total liability for the quarter. Remember, that must equal line 10. So that is a check figure to make sure that you are completing it accurately and that your figures do match. On problem 5-8A. And this is on page 182 in your book. We're going to fill out the quarterly contribution for in return and receipts of wages. Okay, we're going to fill out form DE-9 for the quarterly contribution report. All right, so they give you our the rates here. All employees have worked a full calendar year, and all wages are subject to the UI, ETT, and the SDI. California PIT wages, taxes withheld for the quarter are $22,406. The company has deposited $38,073.70 for the quarter. So if you look at the form, as you know, you're going to fill in that federal employer identification number. In box D, you're going to fill in the rate that is given to you at 5.4%. And then times the taxable wages, which is given to us of $244,798. And remember, this is obtained from form 941, box number 2. We're going to take the $244,798 and multiply it by 5.4%, which will give us $13,219.09. In this state there's an employment training tax, which is 0.1, so 0.1% of the taxable wages is $244.80. The state disability insurance is 0.9, multiply that by the taxable wages. So our state disability insurance is 2,203.18. The California's personal income tax withheld is given to us, which is $38,073.07. Less any contributions and withholdings, and our total taxes due or overpaid, H minus I, is 0. Okay, and this is the employment or quarterly contribution return and wage report. Exercise 5-9. In this example, we are going to fill out form 940, and this is on page 183 and 184 in your book. Now, Zard has 25 employees, and they give us how much they paid their employees in 2014. Of these wages, $5,400 is exempt from fringe benefits because they elect to take part in the Section 125 cafeteria plan. And $9,815 is exempt for retirement benefits. That's the employer's contributions to the 401k. All the employees have worked a full calendar year and have reached the FUTA wage base during the first quarter. All right, so let's fill out form 940. As you notice, you're going to put in your employer identification number, the name, the company name, and then part 1, we have to fill in if you had state unemployment tax in one state only, enter the state abbreviation, which in this case is Florida. That's where they're residing in. All right, part 2. Number 3, total payments for all employees. That's the total wages that the employer has paid, $863,428.49. Payments exempt from FUTA. All right, that they also do give us. In this example here, exempt from FUTA is $15,250. The total payments on line number 5 in excess of $7,000 is $673,178. Remember, these are the wages. Once they go past the $7,000, these are the wages that that are not subject to FUTA tax. We need to add line 4 and line 5 to give us $688,428.49. Total taxable FUTA wages, in this case, is $175,000. Times that by 0.006. Our FUTA tax before adjustments is $1,050. You're going to take that amount and bring it down to part 4 in order to figure out your total FUTA tax and then the FUTA deposit for the year. This also goes into part 5 where you're going to report it in the quarter that you are completing. In this case, it's the first quarter. So we're going to put it in the first quarter, which is box 16A. Bring that amount down to box 17. And you have just completed form 940. If you do have any questions in regards to these forms 940 and 941, please let me know. Thank you.